Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. And just an update from Kakamega. The voter turnout was low. I spoke with the presiding officer somewhere by mid-morning, and I think that was by noon. The turnout was less than 30%. But she was telling me that out of registered voters in a polling station of 495, only 115 had voted as of midday. So the turnout is low, but of course we are still waiting for the results. Now, William Ruto's lawyers are demanding the Supreme Court to strike off the affidavits and the files that were filed in Supreme Court. In response to Raila Odinga's Supreme Court case, the response by the 6 IEBC commissioners. Professor Kithure Kindiki, who is leading that team, is calling on the judiciary, or rather on the Supreme Court bench, and I think that will be the first determination that they'll have, the first ruling that they might have to make. Raila Odinga case, Raila Odinga submitted the case, and some of the respondents that were included there was the IEBC, the commissioners, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, and Rigathi Gachagua. Then all these 6 commissioners, except Wafula and also Wafula Chebukati, Boya Molu, Abdu Gilie, Juliana Cherera, Justice Nyang'aya, Irene Masit, and Francis Wanderi, really filed their responses to Raila Odinga's petition. Many are wondering what has caused the last-minute U-turn, because when Cherera, Nyang'aya, Masit were filing their affidavits, we also saw Boya Molu and Abdi Gulie filing their responses in defense of Wafula Chebukati. I think Boya Molu did not respond, but he adopted. So what you can actually see here, and the question that someone will want to determine, is whether the commissioners can act, in this case, they can act as, they can be respondents in the case, and at the same time, IEBC. So who is acting on behalf of IEBC? Is it Wafula Chebukati? Or the lawyers will act on behalf of the commission, then there are lawyers who will act on behalf of the commissioners. But then, I think there was also affidavit by Wafula Chebukati's lawyers, and there was a contradiction on what exactly that is happening, because on the other end, the 4 commissioners hired lawyers, and they were not sure whether those lawyers their bills will be footed by the commission, while Wafula Chebukati had also hired 4 lawyers to act on his behalf, who are going to be paid by the commission money. But then, there are also those who are going to represent IEBC. So, this is what is then happening. Professor Kithure Kindiki argues that commissioners who have been enjoined in the case create a second-tier petitioners, while in truth, they are masquerading as respondents. But they are also petitioners. Now, there are petitioner, there is affidavit, there is judges, and now you will have to interact with these terms from tomorrow. Josephat Nanok is saying that the affidavits filed by the wrongly enjoined respondents will deprive William Ruto an opportunity to respond to any of the claims. How can William Ruto respond to if he was in court, can William Ruto's lawyers to respond to the affidavits by the commissioners? There's a question that emerging now. Including the IEBC commissioners, Nanok says that the election was conducted by IEBC and not individual commissioners. Now, I just want to ask a very simple question. If I find you in Menibia Then when I come to your house, maybe there was a case of robbery. Then when I come to your house, I go to your house and I find your nanny. Your nanny tipped me off that this and this has happened. And so your nanny wants to tell me what exactly happened in that house. Can your nanny be allowed to be a witness in that case? Can your nanny be a respondent in that case? That is the question. Are commissioners allowed to be respondents to the case? Perhaps it's a determination that we are going to, it might be the first one that will also give us an indication on how this case is going. Now, the question that Kenyans are asking is, what is the cause of the U-turn? Why the U-turn? Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. More importantly, we are 6 days to the end of 15 days extension of Sarah Tieno's medical fundraiser, the 50 shillings challenge that we have been collecting here. I have collected so far after the extension, we were targeting 215,000. I have collected 134,000 so far by the time I was shooting this video. So we are 86,000 short of the target, kind of there. We believe this is going to be achieved. For those who are new, maybe have not got what was happening, we have one of our subscribers here who was suffering. She was sick and she was in Kenyatta Hospital suffering acute leukemia. So after she reached out, we decided that apart from the hard politics, the political news, that we can also do something for the society as part of corporate social responsibility. We have been collecting funds, and we did the first 21 days challenge and collected 679,000. The video is pinned in this channel. You can check out and have more details. And the balance remained, after also an insurance cover paid, the balance remained 215. So we did 15 days extension from 21st of August, and it's ending on 5th of September. That's next week, Monday, when Supreme Court will give the verdict. You can collect that. The number is there, 0710 62 78 89. It will appear Kevin Olo. Why this is becoming now? Or why do you think William Ruto's lawyers are worried of the affidavit by the commissioners? Because initially, you could see that when the Abdi Guliyes filed that affidavit, he tried to document what, according to him, were last-minute intimidation efforts by the National Security Council, calling the name of Raphael Tuju. But then, after that, by then, I think the UDA, or rather William Ruto's lawyers, were a little bit excited by that. And they went to the social media applauding and, of course, making narratives, driving narratives on how the state wanted to infiltrate the commission. But now, a day after, things seems to have changed. Because what happened also, you have to know, is that the National Security Advisory Council joined the case. Perhaps we're going to look at that in our third video tonight. You also have to see that Tuju also filed another affidavit in response to that. So I don't know why it was comfortable first when these affidavits were being filed by these two. However, there is a majority on the other side. Now, what could be happening? The commissioner's affidavits inflates anti-William Ruto responses. Now, there is one complainer here. This is William Samoei Ruto. And not one complainer, the accused here, William Samoei Ruto and the IEBC. And William Ruto, IEBC, these are the respondents. William Ruto, IEBC, and the commissioners that are involved. So, apparently, it's only William Ruto team and IEBC that will be defending Chebukati's results. If you look at that, you will actually realize that with Azimio lawyers, or the Azimio team, starting on the other side, going against Ruto, and the four commissioners also anti-Ruto. What did that show you? That when these case will be going on, and I don't want to execute this in the law terms, or rather in the frameworks of the law, but I just want to execute this in the interest of the public court, there will be a perception, or rather, it will actually come out clearly that there are many heads against William Ruto. So this might have motivated them, and this might have triggered this other call, even though I've looked at it and they say it's in the constitution, to make sure that the affidavits by them are struck off. But then, is it going to deflate the defense of Raila Odinga? This is what is interesting. For example, affidavit by Cherera and Justice Nyang'aya, these affidavits is actually, the two are strong in proving the system breach, because there have been the issue of the system breach is what many have now called hacking, and Justice Nyang'aya is the person that filed affidavit on how 19 foreigners were allowed to access passwords to access the IEBC server and do the monkey business. So that affidavit is very strong, is a very strong one to help Raila Odinga's defense team. So my question is this, and I think if the Supreme Court is going to address that plea by UDA team, then this is the question. IEBC is one of the respondents. They announced those results. Do you expect them to defend? Do you expect them to side with Raila Odinga? Of course not. What that would mean is that the IEBC will then sit comfortable with William Ruto wing. But it will be interesting, and it will give this case what it really takes if the inputs by them is included. The reason why this is important is, number one, I think it is the affidavits by these commissioners that gives us behind the scene, tells us what IEBC lawyers cannot tell us. For example, if I was a security guard at the gate and I know something happened, am I allowed to file an affidavit and say, okay, mimi wakati election ilikuwa nafanyika, I was a security at IEBC and this and this and this happened? Is it allowed? I think that will be leaving the accused in this case, accused just run the show himself. Now, Ruto team will be pushed to a very uncomfortable corner of Chebukati's defense. Remember, the affidavit by the 4 commissioners are actually putting Chebukati under the bus. Each one of them, they're not talking about William Ruto or Raila Odinga team. They're actually talking on how single-handedly, like Cherera is talking on how Wafula Chebukati ran the show, a one-man show. Justice Nyang'aya is talking about the hacking. And I remember each one of them have different perspective to it. So all of them are going after Wafula Chebukati. Now, for William Ruto team, they will be tempted to defend Wafula Chebukati. And I think if their request is granted, then IEBC, or rather Raila Odinga's lawyers, might depend more on the forensic audits and their external evidence, because the commissioners was actually giving them evidence from within. It will be an interesting one to watch. Huh? Now, the divided IEBC commission will deflate their defense. I think it is the People's Daily today was running a story on for the first time IEBC is facing a presidential petition, a divided house. Now, what this would mean is that divided house will deflate the strength of defense by the commission. On the other end, the lawyers that are acting on behalf of IEBC as a commission are defending, but on the other side, 4 commissioners who are insiders within the commission are actually coming out to punch holes on what they're saying. So between the lawyers that worked on behalf of the commission or rather between the defense of lawyers that act on behalf of IEBC and the respondents who are commissioners, what did it be? It means that the true threshold of IEBC's response to this case would go down. There are a lot of doubts. There will be a lot of punches that are put on what they're saying. So at the tail end, it can work against Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. We have lawyers here. I know it's by law and you have all the quotes. I cannot make all those quotes. We have lawyers in this channel. Just tell us, guys. Tunataka kujua, sasa venye mimi nimeuliza tu, nimepata kwako, umeniibia, nimekuja kwako, mfanyikazi wako anasema anataka kuwa witness. Is he allowed? Is part of that house. Is he allowed? Or your wife have decided that my husband is been na amekuwa kiiba, but ndio hizi hapa ameweka vitu zake. Is your wife allowed? Even though I'm just using an analogy. Guys, that's my bold analysis on this.